All right, boys, we're 6 months into the year. And if I were to ask you, in these 6 months, did you get close to what you set out you were going to do this year? What would your answer be? Be honest. Don't get uncomfortable and start clicking away, because I don't want to confront you. I just want to ask a genuine question. Are you behind on what you set out you were going to make? And if you are behind, how far behind are you? You see, the reason why most people are very far behind 6 months into the year is because of either fear or limiting beliefs. And so in this video, I'm going to tell you how to overcome all fears while I'm going to cook my food. It's going to be my first meal of the day. I'm going to tell you how to overcome all limiting beliefs, all fears, so that by the end of this year, the 31st of December, you can still be proud of yourself. Like, actually imagine for a second, imagine this video of me cooking my food, getting some cherry tomatoes, and throwing some eggs on here. Me cooking my food is going to be the turning point for you, to where you end up the 31st of December with the money in your bank account that you set out to make. Maybe your first 6 months did not start out right, but somehow you stumbled upon this video 6 months into the year, and it got rid of all your limiting beliefs and fears, and then boom, you just went after it and you got it, right? So first things first, I'm gonna cut some onions here. First things first, before I tell you how to overcome all limiting beliefs and fucking make money and shit, let's talk about a limiting belief for a second. I want you to actually think about this for a second. The thing that's holding you back is a thought. It's not something you can see, smell, hear. It's a thought. There's people on social media with lesser physiques than you printing money because they don't have these limiting beliefs, right? A lot of fitness guys make a lot of money and they have lesser physique than you. Or they may, even other niches, there's people making a lot of money, they may know less than you or are less competent than you, but they're printing because they don't have the same limiting beliefs and fears. So actually think about that for a second. Something you can't see, hear, or smell, something that's just in your head, is stopping you from everything you fucking want in life. And we don't even know if it's in our head. We assume it's in our head. It may as well be in our fucking penis. We don't know. The point is, this is what holds you back in life. And so I'm gonna tell you how to overcome all your limiting beliefs. And we're gonna start with a little exercise. And I want you to actually do this, actually visualize, because that's the only way it's gonna be effective. All right, don't think you're too good for this. I want you to close your eyes if you can, and imagine the number in your bank account. Imagine it's the 31st of December, 2026. And imagine the number in your bank account that you would genuinely be proud of yourself of. Like the number in your bank account that you set out at the beginning of this year. And you somehow still turned it around. You still made it by the 31st of December. Imagine that number is in your bank account. Actually see it. You see that money in your bank account. Now, after you've done this, and you see that money in your bank account, I'm gonna do something very powerful now. Let's say after this video ends, you get a call, and imagine this, stay with me here. You have to, this is still in your imagination, this is still visualization. Imagine you get a call, and the person you love the most has a terminal disease. Now, I don't know if this person you love the most is a he or a she. For me, it's a little girl. I don't know if it's a male or female for you, but actually imagine the person you love the most. See this person smiling. This person you love with all your heart has a terminal disease. And so you go to the doctor, there's no treatment. You have to fly abroad to a different country. So you and this person you love the most go to a different country. And there's no insurance there, but they do have the remedy for this disease. But you may have guessed it. The cost to cure this disease is double the amount of money you just had in your head for the 31st of December. And if you don't get this money, this person is going to die. The person you love the most is going to die within 6 months. So the question is, it's double the amount you just had in your mind for the 31st of December. The question is, are you going to be able to make this money in 6 months' time? Now, there's two things that's going to happen. If you actually did this visualization and you actually saw the person you love the most, Number one, you know with 100% certainty you're gonna make this money. And number two, you don't have a clue how you're gonna make this money. But because you have so much fucking certainty that you know you're gonna make this money, it doesn't matter how. You don't give a fuck about how. You're gonna make it. And so what I just made you experience, if you did this with me, if you actually closed your eyes and you saw this person and you felt everything, I just made you experience the power of a mission. You see, the answer to get rid of all your limiting beliefs is to become a man on a mission. Because in that moment, when you did this exercise with me, you did not give a fuck about fear. You did not give a fuck about limiting beliefs. If it meant posting on fucking social media or whatever, or making a product, selling something online, whatever it is, to save this person's life, you'd fucking do it. Are you fucking crazy? And so that's the answer to getting rid of all limiting beliefs. And I'm saying this because no one else talks about it, because the normal, like the known way to get rid of limiting beliefs is to spot your limiting beliefs. So let's say, I'll take social media as an example. Let's say you want to make money on social media, but you have these limiting beliefs that it's difficult, that you're not competent enough, even though social media is brimmed and full of people that are less competent than you. But these are limiting beliefs, so they're not true. You have limiting beliefs, making money is hard, you're not competent enough, blah, 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 whatever. The normal advice to overcome these limiting beliefs would be to spot the limiting belief and then to stack counter evidence against it. So for example, if you say you're not competent enough, well, you take this limiting belief and you look at other people that are less competent and they're making money, and so you're stacking counter evidence against this limiting belief, right? Or you look at your own competencies. Well, I'm in shape, for example, or people come to me for advice. Whatever people come to you for advice on, they come to me for advice on this and this and this, and so there's counter evidence against this limiting belief. And so when you stack enough counter evidence, like this devil fruit, if you've seen One Piece, you know what a devil fruit is. Imagine this limiting belief is a devil fruit, but then you're stacking 10 other devil fruits that are like counter evidence. It's almost like you put them on a scale and it's like, right? You get the fuck rid of this limiting belief. That's basically, in a nutshell, how normal people would advise you to get rid of limiting beliefs. But I'll tell you why this is not the most effective way. The reason why this is not the most effective way is because the most difficult part about overcoming a limiting belief is not stacking counter evidence against it. The most difficult part about overcoming limiting beliefs is the fact that you're not aware of them. You don't know why you're self-sabotaging, why you're not taking the actions. It's like they're invisible. So the hard part is spotting them, and also there's often so many of them. So imagine, I'll make a good analogy. Imagine your limiting belief, actually, like fuck the devil fruit. Imagine the limiting belief is like this. This is a durian, one of my favorite fruits. The spiky ass motherfucking fruit. And it's invisible. And so on your path, there's like thousands of these limiting beliefs and fears, invisible and spiky as fuck. And so you walk, boom, you hit one of these limiting beliefs, like, fuck, okay. Boom, you're not gonna even try again. Because the limiting belief is stopping you. And then there's thousands of these invisible ones. And so instead of spotting them one by one and stacking counter evidence to get rid of them one by one, which is a very slow process, when you become a mission, it's almost as if that mission is so much more important than yourself. Like again, let's go back to the example of what I told you. The person you love the most has this terminal disease. You need to get this money. That mission is so strong that it's almost like you're coming with a river behind you, with a tsunami, to where you blow all this shit out of the water or out of your path, even if you're not aware that they're there. You're not even aware of these limiting beliefs. But that mission behind you is so strong that you don't give a fuck. All of these invisible rocks and invisible durian fruits get blown out of your way. And so that's why you must become a man on a mission. And you haven't done this in 2026. So it's no wonder that you're far behind your goals. All right, there's this quote that goes like, I really need to start cooking now, by the way, bro. I've been spitting game. I'll let that sink in for a moment, because no one has ever told you the difference between stacking counter evidence to get rid of a limiting belief versus having a mission that's bigger than yourself, so you go beyond yourself. So even if you're not aware of these fears and limiting beliefs, you blow them all out of the way by your mission. I'll let you sit with that for a moment. Because it's like fucking 4 p.m. here. I'm gonna tell you how to become a man on a mission in a moment, by the way. So that you're actually get rid of your limiting beliefs by the end of this video. Because the exercise we just did with the family member that has a terminal disease, you may feel it in the moment, but then your mind's gonna tell you, well, that's not real. No one has an actual disease, and then bam, all the limiting beliefs are back. So that's only temporary, but you at least felt it. But in this video, I'm gonna tell you how to actually become a man on a mission so you get rid of that shit. But anyways, gotta start cooking now for a second because, bro, it's like 4 p.m. right now. 4 p.m. I haven't eaten anything, which is something I often do. I know I'm huge as fuck, bro, and I'm natural, but I don't eat that much. I fast a lot. And I smashed leg day as well today. But I'm hungry as fuck, bro. That like doing the leg day like I did, without any calories, it was a little bit crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. Becoming a man on a mission. That's the answer to getting rid of your limiting beliefs. So, you know, before I tell you how do you become a man on a mission, let me actually tell a personal story about how I overcame limiting beliefs by becoming a man on a mission. It was COVID. This is 2021. And I had all these limiting beliefs myself as well. I was unaware of them. I had all these fears, whatever. Like I tried a fitness channel in the past. I let it go. I had to watch other people surpass me with their fitness channels. But during COVID, I felt so violated because one of my highest values is freedom. And during COVID, I felt like, oh shit, I'm so restricted. People are in my face telling me to put the mask on. I almost got kicked out of a flight by a flight attendant because I did not wear the mask over my nose, and just the disrespect and the people in your face and everything. On top of that, I had family members that were like, they were super afraid of COVID. So they got like the vaccines and everything. And they would judge me or turn their backs on me because I did not get the vaccine for no reason. And even talk shit about me, which is crazy, right? Your personal decision. They're taking care of their health by taking the fucking booster shots. I'm not doing that, and now you're talking shit about me. I've known you all my life. This is my reality in COVID. And then I also had friends during COVID, to where my friends also, they were pussies. They also turned their back, right? They also didn't want to do anything anymore because daddy government told them it's not allowed. And then when daddy government told them it's allowed again, they were like, hey, you want to hang out? So it was like everything started to crumble down around me. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro? I don't have any freedom. I feel like a slave. I feel like everything around me is fake. And I was just in a dark place. But then for the first time in my life, I started to journal about it because I had so many pent up emotions. I started to journal about it. I was like, Musa, you deserve this. You deserve to get treated with this disrespect because you haven't accomplished fucking shit. In fact, you deserve, I wasn't a father yet at the time, I'm a father now. You deserve to get treated like a slave and disrespected and people yelling in your face that put your mask on. You deserve to get treated like that in front of your wife and kids. And you deserve for people to talk to your kids like that as well. Maybe even slap your kids in the face. I was talking to myself like crazy. I was talking to myself like this. Because again, one of my core values is freedom. Like I would die for my freedom. And so now I'm telling myself, you deserve to be this fucking slave. You deserve this. You deserve this. Even though it's my core value is freedom. You deserve this unless you become a millionaire. That's what I wrote down. And so imagine it. Imagine your core value is being trespassed. It's being violated. And the only answer to get your fucking core value back is becoming a millionaire. I linked freedom to becoming a millionaire. And so this is how I became a man on a mission. And I remember I wrote on a piece of paper, and I stuck this on my wall. I wrote down $1 million, why, question mark. And I was like, well, if I don't make it, back then, woke culture, LGBTQ was very prominent everywhere in schools, especially in the Netherlands. I lived in the Netherlands. Why? Well, because if I don't make it, my kids are going to be brainwashed in school. Why? Because I'm going to be disrespected in front of my kids are going to get disrespected. Why? Because blah, 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 blah. I was listing 13 different reasons why I had to make this. And I stuck it on the wall. And the moment I did that, everything changed. The moment I did that, my work ethic went up like 10 times. I did not care about fears anymore. I did not care about limiting beliefs. I started trying different business models. So I started crypto trading first. That did not work out that well, but I didn't give a fuck. Jumped in it, then jumped into e-commerce, then jumped into faceless YouTube channels, and that was like the third business model, and that one took off like crazy. Faceless YouTube channels, and then started making money with faceless channels, making crazy amounts of money I've never made before in my life. And it's because there were no limiting beliefs. My reason to do this was stronger than any limiting beliefs or fears I had. And I moved out of my country. I got into Dubai in mastermind rooms with very high-level entrepreneurs, and then I changed my entire circle around. My entire life changed, basically. But it all came from that mission. Imagine I had to take every limiting belief, examine it, like, oh, I think I spotted one. Okay, let me stack counter evidence and do that one by one by one. You know how long it would take for me to become a millionaire. And so I'm sharing that with you because that's probably what you're doing right now. You set a goal, you have countless limiting beliefs, and you feel motivated at the time of setting the goal. And then you kind of have to spot these fears and limiting beliefs one by one because you don't have a mission. And so I'm going to tell you right now how you become that man on a mission yourself. The key to becoming a man on a mission is, number one, to know your own core values. We all have a set of core values. So for example, mine is freedom, family, and then you could say legacy or evolving. That's also one of my core values, always improving. And so, I don't know where it is, whatever. The key to becoming a man on a mission is to convince yourself, I don't care if you have to lie to yourself, convince yourself that your core values are being violated. Just like I did when I shared my COVID story with you. And so I gave myself 13 reasons. You got to give yourself at least 13 reasons why. If you don't, like, you got to set a goal, your core values are being violated, and if you don't reach this goal, it's going to be violated 10 times worse. And when you do that, you'll unlock a drive you've never felt before. On top of that, once you do that, on top of that, if you can add other people into it, like loved ones, like I did with my family, so not only am I a slave, but you're telling me my kids are going to be slaves, they're going to be brainwashed by LGBTQ in school and everything like that? Nah, you know, now it's not just me and my core values, which is already very strong, but I boosted even more by bringing my loved ones into it. And now it's like a real mission. And you know you've done it right if your fucking eyes change, bro. If you're like, I don't give a fuck, nothing's gonna hold me back. If you feel like killing, and if you're ready to lay down your life for this mission, that's when you know you actually are a man on a mission. Until that point, you just have a goal. You just have a goal, it doesn't mean much. So I want you to do that after this video. And by the way, if you have no idea what your core values are, I have a little prompt you can run through ChatGPT. You can just send me a message on Telegram. I have a free Telegram, you can send me a message. I'll help you out with discovering your core values. But you can also do this by yourself, just chatting with ChatGPT. And then do what I just said. You're gonna see. And when you do that, I promise you this. By the end of this year, 6 months from now, by the end of this year, if you do it right, you'll be fucking proud of yourself and your bank account will reflect it. Because you will move in ways that you've never seen before. Right? Like, bro, a lot of life, like a lot of making your goals a reality comes down to It comes down to being that identity, basically. Being that version of yourself that doesn't have these limiting beliefs. If it is content creation, being the identity of that content creator. If it is a different business model, being that identity. Because that identity doesn't have these limiting beliefs or fears, because he is that, what you want to do. And so, we can all write down on a piece of paper, oh, my new identity is this, my new identity is that, I am this, I am a content creator, I am this, whatever. But it's not strong enough to stick without a mission. A mission and the pressure of a mission is what constantly reinforces that identity. Again and again and again and again, until that new identity is fucking you. And that old identity of you is dead, bro. It's fucking dead. So I want you to think about that for a second. You gotta become a man on a mission if you want to turn around this year and still be fucking proud of yourself by the end of this year. That's the only way to overcome all these limiting beliefs. Otherwise, good luck walking down the path and avoiding these durian, spiky durian fruit. By the way, this is one of the best fruits, bro. A little bit off topic, but this is one of the best fruits, bro. If you're ever in Asia, get yourself one of these, man. Bro. Damn. One of the best fruits, bro. I swear. Look at that. I'm gonna enjoy this one, bro. Anyways, I want you to think about that for a second. Become a man on a mission. Imagine you could just eat a devil fruit, by the way. And all your limiting beliefs are gone. All your fears are gone. Or maybe the fears are still there, but you don't give a fuck about overcoming them. Imagine you could eat a fruit, a devil fruit like that, and boom, that just happened. Wouldn't that be crazy? Because I just gave you the game. I just gave you a devil fruit, basically, by telling you how to do that shit. I gave you a devil fruit. There you go. You're welcome. I'm out.